of justice. Confessions. And a Catholic priest there. Confessions. Dear me, Lord, I have sinned.
Hello, hello. We're live. How's everyone doing today? We're waiting on Massimo. He's having a few technical difficulties, but he'll be in shortly.
Massimo, where are you?
Gene, welcome. The Fingers, welcome. Cyborg. Robert Hill, welcome. Dan Wiley. Asher. The Fingers. Grandson of Man. John Tucci. Daryl Rogers.
Hello, guys. Everybody saying hello. I'm trying to.
Sunday Slot Cars. Sunday Slot Cars exposed. Maybe. Gary Dunmore. Hello, Gary.
Gary got his shadow. He posted some nice pictures on Friday.
John Albright, what he did, his video was funny. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good stuff.
That has to be his voice. I think he did that voice.
Yeah, I think he did a voiceover. The theatrics of it all.
Cool.
The showman.
So, John, you're on here. Good job, man. That was funny when I saw that. That was pretty cool with all the dry ice, what he did.
The shadow knows. Yeah, he sent me a message. He said, I think you're going to have to adjust your list. So he must like the car.
I like driving it on this track more.
Yeah, on your plastic track?
Yeah, on the current track, it's suited for that. It's fine on the oval, but for this track, it's fun.
Yeah,
that's why I was trying to convince Danny Wiley to start out with a plastic track. Start somewhere. I think that's where you should start at. There's Mass.
There's Mass.
Massimo.
Mass, you with us? He's still having some technical difficulties.
He's getting there.
Yeah. Hey, Dusty.
Dusty's on. Yep.
Oh, he's gone again. He'll be back again. So, how's everyone's week been? Marty?
It's Monday.
I mean,
survived
when I
the
say
Monday.
Week, I mean last week to this week.
Yeah, I know. This past weekend was really busy. I didn't get a lot of slot car time, so
yeah,
cool. But it was good.
Yeah, you in withdrawals?
Yeah, a little bit. I spent the whole weekend. I'm a little hoarse. I spent the whole weekend singing, so it was a busy weekend. I was at a youth camp Saturday and Sunday.
Dan Wiley is playing with fire here.
He shouldn't be here. Laugh Out Loud daughter's birthday. It's probably on his phone. You still be on your phone.
Has everyone got the shadow to do a backflip like Jim Pace at North America? Road America, sorry.
I mean, expensive.
That's right.
Expensive backflip and destruction. I'm sure the mirrors would break in the process and whatever else, but my thumb got cut on a slot car when I was trying to get one on the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is made out of razors. Oh.
Slot cars are dangerous.
Hey, Danny's in the house.
Chris is getting a new knee. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Light Tech Slots in the house. Hey, Light Tech. Sorry, couldn't join your Whatnot stream. Very busy.
Had some
Getting the
some
live stream ready.
NSRs on there.
Yep.
Really? Wow. I can't buy any more cars. I'm pretty much done. Too many of the NASCARs. The last one I ordered was the Ken Miles one, the GT40, and that's it. All those other Revos coming out, I can't get them. I'd like to, but no. It's now they're getting really out of hand. You got all those little Revos, the European ones. Those look cool.
Yeah, did you see Slot Car Corner sold out of them already?
Yeah, they sold fast.
Yeah, crazy fast.
So,
what is that? The Opal, the new one that came out, the Opal.
Yeah.
All 3 liveries are sold out at Slot Car Corner.
Yeah.
And that's the way to release something like that to every dealer at once. I know some guys, some companies release them to certain dealers, and it's not fair to the other dealers because then they end up getting their order canceled because people want their stuff now. You know?
Right.
So it isn't any good when you don't set a date and then distribute to everyone, not just distribute here and then don't say anything and then release here and there. That doesn't help.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen it with the new Thunder slots.
Yeah, they did
it's available.
A little bit with the Shadow, I think, also.
Yeah,
it was kind of a little bit released early to somebody else. I don't think it's fair, but that's just my opinion. I mean, what they want to do, they're not going to do. Their companies.
Right.
I know someone who got an infected finger marshalling from photo etch windshield wiper. Shadow is my last card. The fingers, stop lying.
Fingers.
Yeah, not the Shadow's my last card. That's like me saying I'm done buying cars for the year. That ain't gonna happen. But
Dusty, Robert, you know someone?
I'm holding out for the 3 name 962s and Ken Miles GT40.
Yeah, the Ken Miles one I want. Because I got the Danny Hume one, the number 5. I've had that for a while. So I still need to get the black one, but that one's going to be expensive, which is tough.
I agree, John Tucci. I don't believe the fingers at all.
That was my white red stripe Mustang GT350 from Thunderslot took a trip from Virginia.
Hey, there's Mass. How you doing, Mass?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not sure what caused that.
Wow.
Bad
Virginia,
FedEx mess up.
Way the other direction.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We got you, Massimo.
Welcome to the party. Oh. All right. So Marty didn't have a very busy weekend, slot car racing or anything slot
not
related.
slot car racing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I did finish my top 10 video.
Yeah.
I released it on Saturday. I scheduled it for Saturday, and man, I got a bunch of grief because I didn't release part 2 immediately. So I was going to wait till next Saturday, but I went ahead and released it today.
Yeah, man, you can't do a top 10 and not do all top 10. What is this?
Oh, I didn't want the video was getting long.
You left them in suspense. They didn't like that.
They didn't like that.
No.
She used the Batman emblem and spin it. Same bat channel, same bat time, next week.
That's right.
I released it on Saturday. I scheduled it for Saturday.
That was fun, though, putting that list together.
Cool. I liked it. Good choices. It's a good list.
Hey, Mass, are you streaming the The YouTube, you might want to mute it or mute the sound on it because it's coming back as through the mics. Oh, he's gone again.
Poor guy.
The finger says,
Struggling.
nice top 10.
Yeah. Thanks, the fingers.
Danny, here goes the time talking to my wife about buying a slot car track.
Good luck, Danny.
Yeah, everyone liked part 2 this morning, Marty.
Yeah, that was fun. I released it on my lunch hour so I could actually watch with people.
Hey, Sean. Good to have you in the house. The fingers, George, you were running the Shadow. You had a good time running it?
Yeah, I tuned it by, so there's two, you gotta put 2 grub screws on the top of it. Because there's only 2 on the bottom. So I got the axis
Okay,
set.
is this working?
It
Oh,
is
yeah,
suddenly working.
It's really
Okay,
perfect.
I had to switch back to my phone. We're halfway there with the camera. By next week, we'll be good.
You good?
Yeah, we'll get you there.
Oh my god. Sorry
It's
about
okay.
that, guys.
It's okay, as long as your pretty face is on, it's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, come on.
You get more girls to look. So you get more-
Yeah, we need you. That's fine.
We're all beautiful, man.
Me in particular is old. So.
Yeah, Daryl Rogers. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I kind of caught the bit of that, Marty. You were saying people were getting upset that you didn't release part 2 right away.
Right? Yeah, they were giving me a hard time about it. They didn't like this. They didn't like the suspense.
I like it though. It's cool. I could
It
get
was
why.
fun. It was fun. It was fun to like lay out all the cars and try to decide. And I realized how difficult it is to start ranking your cars because you get attached to certain things about certain cars, and it's
Yeah.
like I really don't want to put that car in front of that car, but I got ranking them was hard.
You start
Amen.
playing favorites. It's hard not to.
Yeah. I gave you a little shout out there, Massimo, with my 2 Ferraris opening up.
Yeah.
Count out.
The fingers, you crack me up, man. You crack me up.
What do you say?
He said he asked for forgiveness, but his through Lent knees are hurting.
Too many Hail Marys.
Marty love top 10. Have not had time to test Shadow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, lots of
Monty-
people have been testing their shadows.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, George, you were talking about your shadow when
Yeah.
Massimo jumped back in.
Yeah, well, what we talked about, you asked me how it ran. Okay.
I want to know what's in your jizz juice, okay?
I did a video on it just for fun, because I know Harry's going to do a full review. I didn't do any technical. I was going to talk about how I tuned it, but I was like, that gets that's like beating a dead horse sometimes. So all I did was put 2 grub screws on the top of it, treated the tires, and gave it pod float and body float. I wanted to take the 2 side screws out, but you can't because there's 2 cups.
Yeah.
Because what I usually do is take those 2 out on slotted ones and let the pod float back and forth like
Right.
this completely. That one you can't because you have those cups. So I put them on. I loosened all the pod bolts by about, I'm turning a half, the body screws a turn, and I just took off with it and did fine. It did perfectly well.
Yeah, it looked like it was getting around your track pretty good.
Yeah, it ran real good.
So, Robert Hill is asking if anyone's doing a Can-Am shootout. So I bought, and they're on their way, I bought a 91710 and a McLaren M8D. So I am going to do the Shadow shootout against
Nice.
those cars.
Nice.
And I bought all the mods for each one. So we'll be testing them up. So
What brand are those, Raul?
I got the NSR 91710 and I got a slotted M8D McLaren.
Gotcha. That slotted McLaren is fast.
I know.
as a
I
mag.
have one already, but it's destroyed.
Gosh.
Yeah. but I bought a brand new one so I could test them apples for apples, straight up. So we
Cool.
will be having that shootout.
Cool. That'd be a good one. I think.
Nice.
Yeah. So you put your little juice on, and then you ran your shadow. You ran it on the wood track, and then you ran it on the plastic track. And you said you like the plastic track more.
So honestly, my opinion for the shadow is that it belongs in a road course like this. So
Yeah.
I mean, the wood track, to me, I really built the wood track for kind of like nostalgic of, you know, NASCAR and scratch built cars, because urethane to me and brass chassis run real good on. They run fine on plastic, but to me they run better on wood, in my opinion. So that's why I mainly built the wood track, was for mainly because of scratch building. But the shadow, that's why I would. This track right here is awesome. It's,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I like using my F1 cars and all that stuff. They run great on the track. And that thing runs good on both. I just wanted to show that it'll run both on plastic and wood. So if you have a wood road course, even better. Go for it.
I think I have the Thunder Slot Lola. I think I do. I can't remember. I have the Thunder Slot, I think. Oh, yeah, I'm running. I don't remember what I have anymore.
Richard's
It's a blur.
asking, can the shadow accept the Carrera chip? I believe, I don't know.
No, it can't. I already checked. If you check my live stream, we went through all of that with Massimo. The only chip that I think can fit is the Slot-a-holic chip.
You know, there's also don't forget, guys, there's also the MPL from Slot Invasion. And the MPL is a tiny chip. This is a new version of it. I'll show it to you guys since we're talking about chips. And this sucker's pretty tiny. I think it's just as small as the Slot-a-holic chip. So I mean, that is a good candidate for the shadow.
Yeah.
The best thing they could have done was start shipping that with the leads already soldered on.
The shadow?
No, that chip, the MPL chip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it used to not come with the lead soldered onto the circuit board.
You'd have to do it yourself, but
Yeah.
this is
Oh, that was tough.
So that's a good chip.
If you don't remember all your Slot-a-holic, that's already a ship that's passed. It came by, sailed by, and it's gone. Honestly, I have a Thunder Slot somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Oh, maybe it's up there.
I'm sure you got a lot of stuff everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, the Shadows definitely had a lot of hype over the last week.
It was worth it. I think it was worth it. It's a nice car.
There's been a lot of people waiting since it was announced way back, well over a year ago.
Right.
Yeah. I have the
There's a lot of
MK2, the one that's from Vanquish. I have that car. It's a shelf queen. I have it in the living room. And my wife said, "Put it there. It's a nice car." Because I'll never drive that thing. That thing is so nice, and it's
Yeah.
Have you ever?
actually,
Have you ever driven it at all, or just?
I put it on the track once, and then I put it in the box. I just
Okay.
didn't, nice looking car, but it'd be nice if they make MR Slot make one of those. That's a nice looking car. Because I think it's Vanquish was the company, made a bunch of white, orange. There's some people that have a collection of them, and they're not.
Okay.
Let me forget it instead of talking about. Hold on, bro.
Which Lola does it? The T70? Is that the one that you said I should get? I think I have that one.
Oh, nice.
So I can add this to shootout as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool. All right. So that was Area 51's week. Massimo, how was your week? From last Monday to this Monday.
Not too crazy. Let's see. Jorge went to go grab this. Let's see this first.
What is this? Oh, nice.
There it is.
That's the
Wow.
This is the Mark II. If they would make one of these, MR slot car, if you're seeing this, if you make one of these, that'd be awesome. This is another car that really needs to be made. This is made by that company Vanquish. This actually has like an actual rear end with gears in it. It's a trippy car. But I've had this. I bought this on an auction. I think at the time I paid $50 for it, like 8-9 years ago maybe. And I just put it on the track once, drove it. I was like, I don't want to wreck this. it's a nice looking car, but they make different ones too in different colors. And you can see it's a shadow. So it's a cool looking car, and this stays on the shelf, in my living
So
room.
Gary has a question here. It says, does the slot car corner sell the tech box? So I don't think Tech Slots is actually making the things right now. So there's no. So I don't think they are. So I don't know if slot car corner has any.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Gary. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I was responding in the text.
Okay. Thanks, Marty.
No problem. I mean, Joseph does announce on the Facebook group every once in a while that he has some inventory of parts, and if guys will send him their CU and chips, then he would make the box for them. But he did that a couple months ago, but I haven't seen anything here recently.
Yeah,
Hey,
Chris,
Shotgun Dave.
the AFX Shadow MK. I have that one too, Chris. I know which one you're talking about. The little.
Oh, the little, yeah. I think Travis showed his off as well on his.
That's what got me into that as a kid. When I saw that, I thought that was a cool looking car, and that's kind of like, yeah, it's a Vanquish, grandson of man. Vanquish, the company Vanquish.
Yeah. So, Mass, we're talking about your week. How did it go this week?
Yeah, it was a pretty low key week. Just been busy with work. I did a little bit of track painting, and in terms of slot cars, just that one box that came in from eBay. That was pretty much it, really, slot car wise, and then just work.
Nice.
And watching the playoffs.
And also, we did some racing yesterday.
Yeah, the racing last night was that was fun. That was a good night.
Yeah.
It always gets expensive though, because then they want to start a new class. We got to go buy cars.
Yeah, I was, I came, I don't know, every time I go to Dave's place, I come away with broken cars. This is not good. Anyway, so we were at Racing 124. I bought all the GT3s, which those are fine. And then they were like, let's put out 917s on the track. And I only have my limited edition 917 number 2, which goes for like $300 right now. So I put it on the track, and we're like, okay, we're just taking it easy. And what do? I get rammed in the rear and broke the 2 struts on the rear. I was like, oh God. So, yeah. And then we went and did Ford GTs. And sure enough, I put my Ford GT on, and the same guy hit me in the rear again. And this time it exploded my Ford GT, like literally took it apart. So I was like 2 cars down. And I was like, and then they're like, oh, we're going to race 917s. So I said, well, Massimo, I'm not racing 917 unless I buy one. And they're the hardest car to find right now. 124 digital 917s is really hard to find. So I don't know. Me and Massimo, we have to do some digging. Because I don't think I think you also have limited edition 917s, right?
I just have that one that like I bought it used. It was a little bit scuffed up, and I made it look race worn. Like it was all like that's really the only one I have other than that silver one. So I don't know which one I would want to run because they're both hard to get these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I think Carrera is releasing one this year, right?
Yeah, but it's only in Europe. The one.
The yellow one.
Yeah,
the yellow
one.
Is it
See, I thought we were getting the 124 in the U.S. It was the 132nd we were not getting. And
I hope we get the 124 in the U.S.
Because I've seen the yellow one. Is that the yellow one that's coming out from Carrera? Is that a 132nd or is that a 124?
132nd, no 124. Only 132nd. I do want that one. I'll get it because I got all the 917s. Not all of them, but most of them. The special ones, like the green anniversary ones, and the one that says Carrera on it, I don't have those. Those are like really expensive and hard to come by.
Gene has a question, Mass. Maybe you take this one. Roll and Massimo, what do you prefer, 24 or 32nd?
I mean, on every given day, I'll race one 30-second more. Just there's more options out there.
Yeah.
But in a group, I don't know. When we go to Dave's, like the 124s are really fun to run. They're a fun class to run, but in general, I just use 132nd a lot more because there's more options out there.
Yeah, so before we started doing this, I was really not into 124s. I had bought a couple when I first got back into the hobby in 2008. But now that I'm racing, I think it's just what you race. So if you have more people racing and you're actually having fun, it doesn't matter what scale it is. It's just about the camaraderie of racing, right? So being around people that are racing, automatically you just take whichever class there is. And that's basically my thing on it. I mean, for collection, I do like the 132nd, but mainly because of scale. I really like the scale of the 132nds. But 124s are really well detailed. They're amazingly detailed, and Carrera does a really good job with the detailing, right? Like Marty's holding up that DTM. It's amazing, and they have such a presence. That's the one thing about the 124s, is like they have a presence when you have them in your hands. They actually a lot substantial, and then the price difference also makes them more appealing when you think about it. They're more expensive, but not that much more than a 132nd right now. $30 more. Well, I guess that's a little bit expensive, but I mean, you get so much value for that car. And also, if you don't like, this is my take on 124. They kind of run a little bit slower than a 132nd, so you get more control with the throttle, I feel. Yeah. So that's my thing.
So Moss, do you have any Carrera 124s?
Yeah, I have. I think 8 or 9.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ferraris, right?
We can't hear you. Yeah, of course. Well,
honestly, they're the most beautiful. I got a couple of them. They're freaking gorgeous, man. The P4 is a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think those P4s are probably the favorites in that scale. Like they look really, really good.
Beautiful. When I first got it, I was like, man, what a nice looking car. It looked better than the 917.
No, I still think the 917 is my favorite. Like I think in that scale, that's my favorite car. The 917s. Like they just on the track, they look amazing.
Yeah.
They look like die cast. All the 124s, like Raul was saying, they look like a die cast. Yeah. Like it's like I'm holding a die cast model.
The video you posted, Raul, on that place, what was it, Cobra or something? That was a nice video. I like how you showed the cars. And that's really nicely detailed, that whole room, the way he did everything. That looks gorgeous. And you can see the cars. Yeah, that was a nice video. You can tell they're so large compared to 132nd.
Yeah. 124s are heavy. They tend to stay on the track. Yeah, that's true, Sunday. It's a lot of fun to drive. Now, Chris says something here. The 124th scale, they're a lot of money. When it comes to Carrera, they're not so bad. But yeah, when you get to BRMs, 100%. Like you pay for what you get, though. A BRM is not a Carrera car. It's completely different. It is a metal chassis. It is just another level. It's just like the Revo slots compared to Carrera cars. They are a separate level, right? You pay more for them. But that's just goes with the production value of the car and the brand.
Yeah, I like BRM does Group C.
Yeah,
24 scale. Those are beautiful. Gosh.
Yeah, those two LM cars that were running yesterday, they were, or that we had in the video, they are not Carrera cars. No. They are BRMs chipped.
Right? Oh, those are 125th or 44th?
124 BRMs chipped.
Okay.
The Marlboro one that you saw and the Miller, the golden white Miller and the Marlboro car were both BRMs.
Yeah.
The guy who carries those cars really is Slot 132. That's Alan Smith or something like that. He's the one that carries a lot of BRM stuff.
Yeah, that's about the only place you can get them in the States.
Yeah, that's it.
Asher, I think Dix is going to buy Carrera Track. And I think so. I'm not too sure, but I think what we discussed with the Global Racing League is started up. We are going to launch season 1 in October, so I'll just segue into that for a bit. We launched the Global Racing League. I asked for people to sign up. We have 12 signups. Minimum was 10, so we got the 10. We are launching in October the Global Racing League. It is a very small footprint. It's 7 feet by 6 feet, which was by majority. And we are going to be running standardized track, and it is going to run on Carrera. So I think Danny wants to race in that, but I'm not too sure. But that's where we're at, I think. But Danny can answer more to that. And if you're interested, you can sign up for the Global Racing League. I'll just take you there now for a second. Sorry, guys, just cutting in here. So we're gonna go here next. But if you go to Conquest Racing Club and you go to the home page, so conquestgamingclub.com, you go to Global Racing League and sign up. And we only have 8 more spots left because I'm capping it at 20 for this first season. It just makes it easier to control. And if you go here, you can sign up. You can see everyone else who signed up, and you can see what they chose for space allocation. You can see 7 feet by 6 feet is what everyone has asked as a requirement in majority. So, but you get options as to what you want to pick here. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And if you want any more information about it, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see. So before we get started on our topic today, I just wanted to... So something happened last week. Oscar from Slot Invasion reached out to me. We had a little bit of chat, and he said that there was somebody that wanted to get in contact with me, and he wanted to showcase some of his track building, and I said sure. I'd love to see people that build unique tracks, and his name is Rob Larson. I had an opportunity to actually have a chat with him on Saturday on Zoom, and he graciously sent me a lot of images about his track, and we're going to go through them right now with everyone. And let's take a look at his track. And the amazing part of all of this is that he builds everything. So he's only 2 years in the hobby. He actually is a forensic accountant, but he has a thing for architecture. And during the pandemic, he decided to start building some scenery. So that's how this all came about. So everything you see here is made out of foam. So it's all pink foam. His whole table is made out of pink foam as well. So I'm just going to scrub through these images, and if we can discuss them. But everything you see here is all made with foam core. The cool thing is that all his shoulders here are made actually with yoga mats. He gave me a really good tip, and this is a tip that all of us could use, I guess. Heavy duty yoga mats are the same height and thickness as Carrera track. So it's easy to lay them down, put your track, trace it over, and cut them out. So there's a tip. But it's gorgeous. Like I said, he's only been 2 years, and it is phenomenal. Now, he did send Dave Kennedy a full gantry, and I don't know if most of us watch Dave Kennedy's show, but Dave actually unboxed his gantry, which was a full circular gantry that he did. And here you go. He wanted you to see his Marlboro Girls. So this is really cool. It's made of pink foam, and he crumpled up some tin foil and just pressed it against the pink foam to create this texture. So really cool techniques and effects.
Yeah.
And this is the gantry. I have better pictures of this, but look at all the detail work that has been done. All these are hand cut stickers that he's laid on or into the, this is the curved gantry he's prepared. And I think we have pictures of the setup, and I'll get to them later. So Massimo, he wanted to tell you he modeled this Chanel shop for you, and you get 20% off when you shop here. But look at the detail in this Chanel shop. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like he's got little like pumps. It's pretty impressive.
That's really
work.
Yeah. So look at how impressive this is, and to think that this is all made with foam core, and foam. It's pretty impressive.
wow.
And there's it's in construction. So, yeah.
Incredible work.
Yeah, it's impressive. And he might jump on a live stream sometime soon, but he just wanted me to. So this was him doing all the setup work, so you can see all of this is cut by hand, by the way. So he has no laser cutter. He just uses a template and then uses his hand against the template and cuts the concentric circles. So pretty impressive. And this is a custom gantry that he built that goes into the corner. And that was construction. So I thought it was phenomenal work. I love this gantry. This is one of, this gantry, when I first sent it to me, I asked him how he built it because I wanted to build something similar for my track that's coming up. So he sent me a couple of pictures of the whole deconstruction of it. Yeah, he loves MR slot car, so he sent me a lot of images with MR slot cars. But that's the gantry in its entirety. That's impressive.
Really good. Really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it fully lit up. So.
Man, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of patience to do that.
Amazing.
So his room is really cool. He has a 3-car garage, and he has a Porsche Boxster, which he doesn't really drive much. So the way he built his track is that his Porsche can go right underneath the track when he parks it in. So that way he can get his track built in. And he said when he first started, he started with just the buildings. He didn't have a track. So he built the gantry because he loves architecture and he had a vision. So he built the gantry, and after he finished the gantry, he was like, you know what, I might as well get a track so I can see if I've actually scaled this up correctly. So he was looking online, and he said it was a little bit pricey. So he didn't pull the trigger. But then he went to his local hobby shop, and there was 2 sets. And it was a mishmash of AFX, Carrera Evolution, and there was a box left over of some, I think, polycart track as well. And so he struck a deal with the guy and picked up that track, and that's what has become now his home track. And he put it together in his garage. And the cool thing about it, and it's going to come up soon, like, look at the amount of work that he's got. It's pretty impressive. All the cars that he's collected over the past 2 years. All the detail. And this is an actual suspension bridge that he remembered making when he was in high school. As those high school suspension bridge projects. And it's an actual suspension bridge. It's a real suspension bridge. So... And that's how he constructed his table. It's just pink foam, very little support with some wood beams, and then underneath it is plastic piping that goes around underneath the pink foam and creates the rigidity. And his car comes in and parks right underneath it.
Gary Dunmore's comment, read it.
Yeah. Yeah, could you imagine Boone and Rob getting together? Yes, 100%. That would be an epic collaboration. yeah, so Rob wanted to share this with you guys, and I'm happy to share anything that any one of you wants to share about your slot car experience and journey. So, never feel afraid to reach out to me. And I had a really good conversation with him. He was really excited to show this off.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I thought it was really, really, really cool work. And if you've noticed, Dave Kennedy sometimes shoots photographs. He did a little bit of the vegetation for Dave Kennedy as well for his shots. So, and that's, he wanted me to showcase that here as well. So yeah, Rob, I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing this with us. And yeah, just wanted to show it off to you guys. You guys have any comments for Rob? He's listening in on the conversation tonight. He doesn't want to come online yet, but if you guys want to say anything to him, by all means, go ahead.
Hopefully he's reading the comments, because lots of compliments.
Go meet Boone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That'd be a collaboration for the ages.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. Wow. Amazing work.
Yeah, incredible work. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, so if you want to go see this gallery, it's online, conquestracingclub.com/Rob, and we'll take you to this page and can go through all the images at your leisure. But anyway, just wanted to showcase his work and say once again, thank you, Rob, for doing your part for the hobby, for creating this awesome terrain, and yeah, you keep on doing you, man. All right. That was that. Yeah, so anyway, we're going into our topic of tonight. So it is a very cryptic topic. It's called Confessions of a Slot-a-holic. But what does it mean? What I wanted to cover here was where we've come from, each one of us. I think we've never really asked that question, or we know bits and pieces of it. But what I wanted to know is where we've come from, where we feel we're at today. And when I started this live stream, I had made a list of, how the slot car hobby breaks up in general. And I think that my progression in it has actually gone one step further. But I just wanted to see where you guys feel from the time you started this hobby. And for George, maybe it's too long, and it's a long time. But for Marty and myself, and maybe even Massimo, it's been a long experience so far. I just wanted to have a look at, where have you come from, where you think you are in the hobby, and where do we want this to go, right? So I know it's a very deep topic, but let's take a stab at it. So I'll start with Marty. I'll start with you.
Yeah, I've been in the hobby since last February, and coming out of the pandemic, we moved into a new house, and I had a wonderful space down here in the basement, and decided to build a track. And for the longest time, 3 or 4 months, I had 4 cars, and I kind of poked fun. I talked about it in the video this past week. Kind of poked fun that Travis was going through some of his favorite cars in his in his collection, and I was like, I don't even have 5 cars to do a top 5 because I have 4, and they're all Carrera cars. And then I bought my first slotted, and it was the GT40, and that just opened my eyes to tuning the car, and realizing that there were a lot of other brands out there that I really needed to discover. And so that just started the path. And then when I was creating this video this past week about my top 10, I counted my cars, and I was like at 34 cars. Like now I'm already at like 35 or 36 since then. And I was like, holy cow. I joked with Massimo today that they're like rabbits back there breeding. It's like every time I turn around, there's more cars. How does this happen?
Worse than rabbits.
But I think it's because, one, they're just the collecting piece is something I didn't think I would enjoy, but I am. Having, cars from different brands, having specific cars that mean a lot to me and my history as a car guy growing up. So it's fun to own some of these cars that you never would have had a chance to drive. You never have a chance to own the real thing, but slot cars gives you that option, that opportunity. And that's what I've enjoyed about the hobby. And then once I started racing, you have to have cars to cover different classes, and that's been fun too. So that's kind of been my history with my collection, and as it continues to grow. But it's a trap though, because when you're creating content, the easy thing to do is an unboxing. And it's a fun video to do. It's exciting to open the box and see what came next. And what you get to put on the track and try to test and tune up. So I keep saying no new cars, and then Slot It puts out the Fat Turbo 962 that I'm going to have to own, right? Or NSR puts out another new car, a 908. I'm a sucker for Porsches. And there's cars that I've like passed on that I desperately want, but I was like, I've got to make choices. Like the Ferraris that Slot It released. Gosh, those 512s are beautiful, and they are great running cars because Daryl has one, and we've all taken turns on the track with it. I was like, gosh, I need to get that before it's sold out and gone. But yeah, that's kind of my story with collecting, but it does become pretty addicting. It's fun to get boxes, open up cars, and try them on the track. So it can be a trap. You got to be careful.
So I want to ask you a question, Marty. Do you think that YouTube made you continue your journey? Because when you let's backtrack a bit, right? We're YouTubers, right? Did you feel that YouTube progressed your slot car journey, or what was it that made you go deeper in the hobby?
Well, I'm kind of Dusty, if he's in there, my brother. Yeah, DeFinger says it happens. That was been my excuse. Oh, something happened today, and I got a new car. I think that YouTube probably sped up creating content for a beginner YouTube channel, which was my focus. It's still my focus, trying to provide content for beginners in the hobby. It really helped me progress maybe quicker than a lot of other people might have in the hobby. I was doing a lot of research. I was doing a lot of studying so that when I got in front of the microphone, I didn't sound like an idiot. Right. That I knew sort of what I was talking about. So I would say that having the YouTube channel really sped up the curve for me of learning about the hobby. And then it caused me to want to get faster and better. And so I started learning to tune. And if I didn't have the YouTube channel, I probably would not, I would be months behind where I am now. The YouTube channel really pushed my progression at a much faster pace. Yeah.
Okay.
Harry's going to take care of you according to this comment here.
Yeah. So Marty, I'm just going to ask you one final question, then we'll move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Where do you feel you are at in your journey today?
If we're talking about the levels that you kind of created in that video months ago, Raul,
Yeah.
where you had beginner, novice, I would still I would say that I've moved out of the beginner stage. I think when you hit 35 cars, you can't really be a beginner anymore. I feel like I'm in that novice stage. I still have a lot to learn. I have not come close to winning a race at a club. I've run okay, but I think that I kind of count that progression for me as well, of getting faster and being able to do it in front of a bunch of other guys, because I can fly around my own track. But then when I hosted a race day here, I did not do as well, because kind of the excitement of the moment. I was overdriving the car. I was making lots of mistakes. So I think the guys that can show up at the club track and not do that, not make mistakes, really be very steady. That takes a lot. So, I don't know if that really answers your question, but yeah, I would
There's
say that
no,
I'm a novice still.
honestly, like there's no answer. There's no particular answer right here. Like
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a feel for everyone where they're at in their journey, and maybe
Definitely not a pro.
Yeah. Okay. Do you and I okay, so we'll go to Mass and we'll talk about your past and how you got here. So let's start at the beginning, Mass. What made you get into slot cars and what do you think pushed you to progress at the rate you're doing?
Like yourself, I was in it, then I got out of it, and in it, then out of it. So they've kind of been in my life since a young age. And obviously, as you know, I'm a huge racing fan, so that helped me want to get back into slot cars. And COVID happened, and that's where I really got into it more than I ever have. Where I built my first table, and all that, and it just kind of exploded from there. And in terms of pushing forward, YouTube, like I have to agree, really helped progress it. Because I'm not sure, to be honest, if I didn't start a YouTube channel, if I would be as interested in slot cars as I am right now. I think I would still have a table. I probably wouldn't have upgraded my table, to be honest. So like YouTube really kept me interested. Meeting everyone kept me interested, and getting more involved in the community really made it what it is for me currently. And like it's in terms of the collection, I have to agree with Marty. Like the collecting aspect is, for me, one of the most fun parts, like chasing after the car that you want, going to the store, going online, trying to hunt for that car you can't find, and when you finally find it and it shows up at your door, you're just like, yes, I got it. It's fun, but also addicting and dangerous at times. And having the YouTube channel, especially early on, buying cars just for reviews, I got into that funk for a while, which was bad because I was just buying cars I didn't even want for myself. I was like, oh, this is a new car, let me buy it to review it for the community. And that's why I sold a lot of them kind of on Whatnot, because I was buying these cars just to review it. So now I finally stopped that because I'm like, why am I buying a car I don't want just to review it? It wasn't right. So I cut that out because it was getting pretty out of hand. And like that's where I'm at today. And in terms of the hobby, just, as you know, I think I mentioned it before, I had scale electric in high school, and also when I was in college, I had a scale electric tractor set up on the floor, like set up, taken down, set up, take it down. I got into Carrera during, I had a Carrera track since 2010. It just sporadically I would set it up until COVID, where it became permanent. And yeah, this is how I got to where I am today now.
And what do you think you are right now in your slot car journey?
Like in terms of level, like what you guys were talking about?
Level in general, what do you think? Are you
I'm
still
clearly a
scratching the
professional.
surface?
Like, I'm as high as you can get. Like I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and I'm just the pinnacle right now. It's no, honestly,
Spoken like an F1 racer right there.
I'm honestly, I'm a novice. I still think I have a lot to learn. Every time I go to the club, I learn something new. Like, again, agreeing with Marty, I can't consider myself a beginner as much as I would like to, because just when you go to the club, you meet these people that have been doing it for so long, and they know so much about tuning a car. Like, yeah, I can tune a car okay. To get it to run, I'll shave some time off, but they'll tune their car and they can shave a full second off when I'm just shaving maybe not even half a second off. So they know what they're doing, and it's cool. Like, you've seen it firsthand when we go to the club, bro, like talking to people and the tips they give us. It's stuff I never would have thought about. So it's cool, and yeah, there's just so much to learn. So yeah, I consider myself a novice, not a beginner, mainly because of the collection and learning through all of you, little tips and tricks. So yeah, I'd say I'm at a novice level.
Okay. Now you've done a lot of different, you've been automotive enthusiast for a very long time, and you've raced in go-karts. You have huge F1 collection in your house, right? what
Yeah.
keeps you in slot cars? Because now the pandemic is over. There's racing is back. Go karts are back. There's something keeping you in slot cars. What is it?
Well, like I found like more of a passion for it. Like I said, I got in and out of it so many times, but I guess setting up the table and putting so much effort into it and having that appreciation of what I kind of created, like my little small space, my world, basically, if you want to call it that. When I get into that room, I have an appreciation for it, and yeah, it's just I think that's the best way to describe it. Just an appreciation I have for the hobby, especially like the community. Really, I think the community has really made me get stuck into it. Just it's such a tight knit community for the most part. Meeting all you guys and you know all of that going to the club. Yeah, I'm stuck.
You're stuck.
In a good way.
In a good way, not a bad way. In a good way.
Yeah.
Nice. George. So how far back do we have to go for you, George?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
There we go. So George, talk about your journey in slot cars, because we see a lot about what you do today, which is scratch building and creating all these really really cool scratch builds, and your tuning capability is really good. But take us back, through your history, why you got into it, when you got into it, what made you push forward. Just give us some insight.
Well, as a kid growing up, like in the 70s and stuff, we had AFX, and we also had something called Sizzlers. I don't know if anybody knows what that is.
Yep.
Marty, you know what I'm talking about? So it's by Hot Wheels, and what it was a battery-operated little Hot Wheel that you plugged a little gas can in. It was called the juice machine. You stuck it in there for about 2 minutes, and it was on a high bank track that was made out of plastic that used rubber bands to hold them together so they wouldn't pull apart. And you'd throw those cars and they'd go whipping. That was something I remember with my father and my uncle. I'm not very close to my dad, but that was the one moment that I think that I shared with my father that I liked. And from there, it progressed to AFX cars, which I remembered getting for Christmas. I used to get the chrome colored ones. I can't remember what they were called. They were called super chromes or something like that. And then just other various tracks, TCR as I got older. And then like everybody says, you get into girls and you put the slot car stuff away. I had a family. I didn't really continue until probably before I came to North Carolina, because I really wanted to sell the cars like on an eBay store. And I tried that a little bit, but I didn't like it because I had to deal with Carrera of America, and dealing with Carrera of America was very difficult. And I just kind of like, I don't need this, because I had other things going on. And living in California was real expensive. And when I was staying with my mom and she was helping me out because the rents got so outrageous over there, she had helped me out, save some money so I could move out here and buy a home. And that's where I set up my first Carrera track there, which was, I called it Area 51 because she lived in a nice mobile home and it was Space 51. So I thought the aliens Area 51, why not? And I played with that for a little, and when we moved out here, that was the one thing I had told Dee Dee, well, I want to be able to have a hobby room because I do want to have a slot car room. And it started all like in 2017 when we moved. And then I think the earliest video I did on YouTube was in 2016, which was in Gilroy in California. Very brief stuff. And you can look way back to when in the channel, I did one video on foam, talking about foam. I did one on foam rocks, which was that floral foam. And you just rub it and you turn it into a rock and paint it with craft paint. And I mean, it's like $3 to do it. And you get their little, landscape texture and put it on there. And I made rocks. That was one of the first videos I did for you, kind of the YouTube page. And then from there on, I just started doing more and more as I was doing the layout. And then the truer machine I had that I still have, I had just gotten that, and I started talking about trimming, silicone tires and trimming wheels on Carrera cars, and it just kind of turned into this, I guess, eventually. But
Yeah. And where do you think you are right now? Like,
where I am at,
yeah,
uh, honestly, I don't care if I'm a pro, an idiot, or a Superman, or what the hell it is. I don't care. That's the problem with, I'm not trying to, you know, diss what you guys are saying, but you can't get hung up on titles. You can't get hung up on people that, oh, this guy's did so much. Oh, let's kiss his feet. I don't like that. You guys are all pros, in my opinion, because you guys are out there doing it. Now, people could talk and talk and talk, but when they actually, what the whole idea is, when you see somebody's actions, that's the talk. That's what really shows a person. When they show their actions is what they're doing, not when they're just blabbing their mouth, because anybody could blab their mouth. So what you guys are doing action, you're doing content. I'm doing content. I don't care if I screw up on camera. I'm human. I'm not no expert that where, oh, I tuned this car back in the 50s and, who cares? That's, back then. You guys were concerned about the here and now and showing everybody what they're capable of doing. And that's the whole point why I bring Frank here to scratch build the car, because that just shows you, not saying that Frank is inept. Frank could do it. Anybody could do it. Frank's an elderly guy who has arthritis, but he sure did it with no problem. I mean, that's why I tell a lot of people it's not that hard. If I could do it, you could do it. That's my whole mission, is to influence and show everybody that they can do it also, not just me and not just the pros.
and thank you for that, George. Yeah, and thank you for saying that. So, I'll talk about my journey a bit here. I grew up around Skeletric. When I was very young, in Kenya, we had a Skeletric track. It was a 20-meter track, but it was for the adults. The kids didn't get to play with it. So we used to watch adults play. And then as I grew older, I got my first mini MG Metro track from my uncle from England. He actually won it as a top salesperson for MG Metro, and they gave him a little oval track. It was a little oval track with bank turns, and I remember it was so small. I think it was only like 3 feet long, but he brought that down to Kenya for me, and I had my first track, my own track, and I used to run it constantly. I think I broke those cars apart, but I fixed them because we didn't have parts in Kenya, right? There was no slot cars, so you learned how to fix them. So I learned how to fix my cars and look after them, and ran all the braids off, and then learned how to make braids out of wire. Like, that's, Kenya makes you, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So, and then when I left Kenya to come to Canada, I arrived here with nothing. And slot cars was the furthest from my mind. But it was embedded in me from youth. So as I went through life and decided to make some money and open my businesses, I got into wargaming, opened up a hobby shop. And then a funny thing happened was we were going out to a friend's birthday party, and we went to a go-kart track. And we went there to do go-karting, and as we walked in, there was a little slot car shop. It was called Mini Grid. In Massimo would know this, in Downsview. And I didn't drive go-karts that day. I walked into the slot car shop and I never left. And when I did leave, I walked out with $4,000 worth of slot car stuff. I bought 3 sets, 8 cars, and that's the cars that Massimo you saw, like the 124s that I had came from that day. I walked in and I walked out, and I built a replica of Laguna Seca, which is my favorite track. So I made sure that I bought enough track that one day that I could build this Laguna Seca track, and I think it was like 12 feet by 12 feet or something huge. And I went home and I put it together, and I got all my friends over and we started to race. And that lasted all of about a month, and then I packed it away and never saw it again. So fast forward to the pandemic, and it wasn't the pandemic that got me into slot cars. Actually, what happened was I wanted to become a better videographer. So I bought a camera, And in the meantime, between the time I got my the 2008 and moving forward, I got into rail car racing, and I had my own performance shop, and I used to tune Mopars. That was what I was known for. I had a 1200 horsepower Hellcat, the fastest Hellcat in Canada, and I used to race. And then I got sick very badly with Menares, and the doctor said I had to quit racing. And that's the hardest thing, I think, when something you love is taken away. And so I refused to believe him, and I continued racing. And I had an episode on track, and I put the car in the wall, 200 kilometers an hour, and I rode off the car. And at that point, my family intervened and said, "That's it, no more racing." I had just had my daughter, and I had to give it up. So I'm a person that can't sit very still. And I decided I need another hobby. So I turned to photography and videography. It was an easy entry for me. And I got into cameras. Bought my first camera, and then COVID hit, right? I bought my first camera in November 2019. COVID hit in 2020. And I couldn't leave my house. Didn't know what to shoot. And I wanted to train myself on shooting. And I remembered, oh shit, I have that slot car track I bought in 2008. So I pulled it out, put it together, and I couldn't capture the cars. They were too fast. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have enough lights, and so the journey started. I started developing lights. I started to watch a lot of YouTube to see how other people were capturing cars, and nobody was doing what I wanted to do. Nobody was capturing them in slow motion, and so I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. And another thing, nobody was cataloging everything online. So everybody had their YouTube, and everybody was keeping track of them in their own little, I guess at that time, everyone's using this program that we now know, Smart Race, right? But I didn't know Smart Race. I was new, and I was like, I want a catalog. And because I was so far removed from automotive, the ability to buy new cars at a whim and being able to open that new car kind of satisfied this craving that I had to be connected to the auto industry. Because remember this, when I was told to quit racing, I sold everything. I sold my race cars. I sold my performance shop. I had to step out from the automotive world completely. So when I set up my slot car track and started shooting, I was able to connect again with the automotive world. And the cars just gave me joy. Buying a car was like a drug. It fulfilled me. And then learning how to shoot them just entered into the next level. And then learning how to catalog them online and shoot them in motion. That was the big thing that I thought I brought to the table, was motion photography. We all see the static shots, but capturing the car in motion is really what I wanted to do. And that's what got me into slot cars. I didn't expect to stay in this hobby. I'll be honest. I thought I was coming in, going to learn a skill, move on. But something happened. I met Marty. I met MP. Met Jorge. And I got hooked. I didn't get hooked to the hobby. I got hooked to this community on YouTube. And I'll be very honest. I couldn't care. If the slot cars got taken away from me, it would hurt. But if I got removed from this community, it would break me, I think. And that's the difference. What keeps me here, my journey is not anymore about slot cars. Yes, I collect, but that's just me satisfying my urges of being connected and having new toys to play with. But what connects me to this community and what keeps me here is learning. This hobby has so many layers to it. I talk to Boone a lot, and he's a very big part of my being relevant, I think. And that's one of my biggest fears in life, is not being relevant. And this week, I almost quit this hobby. And because somebody said that I was irrelevant, everything I'd done so far was irrelevant. And it was a bitter pill for me to take. But I needed all of you to step in and tell me no. And it's weird, but you guys did, and I appreciate all that. But even then, I was still not sure whether I still wanted to continue. And that's why this is called the Confessions of a Slot-a-holic. It's not about buying slot cars. It's not about satisfying that indulgence. It's about what really keeps you here and what motivates you to continue in this community and what motivates you to contribute to this community, right? And for me, it's relevance. What relevance am I to being here? And I had to really look deep to this week to figure that out. And if you notice, I haven't posted any new car unboxings. Yes, I did the Shadow, but I did it differently. I did live, and I made sure that I ran it. Because a lot of misconception that people had was that I don't tune my cars. I just buy cars. But the truth is, I did tune. I tuned them in private because I didn't think I was good enough to show off my tuning. I didn't think I was good enough to be relevant in your world, right? And somebody said, you have more passion for RC and Warhammer. You should go back to that community. And I almost did a double take, and I said, maybe that's true. And the honesty of that decision is tough. You know, it's tough to actually think about 1 year that you spent in the hobby and say, oh, you know, it's worth nothing. But I figured out something in that I didn't do it for gain in any way. I did it because I loved being here and I love being a part of you guys. So my journey, my point here right now is, yes, I've made a lot of insight. And one thing that I have done is I try to pull this community together. As YouTubers, we have the ability to make this global, to build this hobby, to make it grow bigger. And that's where I think I can come in and do my part in pulling us together. And that's my relevance. So my biggest fear is answered. I am relevant. Maybe not in the way the true slot car enthusiast sees me as relevant, but in my own way, I pull this community together, and that's where I feel very comfortable, and I feel that I belong. And I want to say thank you to everyone that has supported me in my journey thus far and continues to support me moving forward. And yeah, so here we are, confession complete. Right. So the question that I have for you, Marty, is where are you going from here?
That's, you know, I try to have a plan, and try to map out some things, so that I feel like I'm not spinning my wheels, and was struggling for like coming up with content. And I realized that really just sharing with the community was my content this week. You know, by doing, you know, my top 10 cars, and the feedback from that has really given me a lot of ideas of what's important from a content standpoint. So I'm just going to keep creating. I'm just going to keep trying to enjoy the hobby, have a lot of fun. I don't get tired of sitting in front of this track or standing at this track and running laps and trying to make my cars go faster. And now, you know, learning to paint a car and put decals on it and to finish it, start to finish. Those are all important things. And I'm just going to create content about what I'm enjoying about the hobby. And that's my plan moving forward. And Raul, you know, you talk about the community has been, you know, the key. You know, I think that YouTube gives us a platform. And I think that we have to be responsible with that platform. And I think when I look at the community that we are we together are building, like all of us, everyone that's in the chat. We just happen to be the ones in front of the camera talking, but I think that it's all of us coming together as one voice. We can impact the hobby. Me with just one voice, I can't. I mean, I can make some noise, but it really is not going to have an impact. But together, all of us, that's kind of what I see moving forward. Is, you know, we want young people to jump into this hobby. Well, how's that going to happen? We have to invite people over to the track, right? Invite people to our club. Create inviting, safe places for people to come enjoy, and have an opportunity to learn and realize how much fun it is, and fall in love with the community that's there waiting for them. And I think that over the years, there have been a lot of people who've done that really bad. And
Right.
I feel like we're trying to do damage control sometimes. But then I've run in and met people through this community that have been taking great care of the community all these years. I've only been in it a year and a half. There are people who've been in it 20, 30 years that have taken that great care. We have a new platform with YouTube. And so, like, we have to use that to the best of its ability. That's my plan moving forward.
Mass, what's your plan moving forward?
Well, right after this stream, I'm probably gonna sell everything and no.
Smart ass.
You know, Mass, you're telling
was
me to make
expecting
that
that.
poster. Make that poster. I'm gonna make you the Joker in that poster.
No. No, I'm gonna just keep on doing me. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I enjoy, make the content I enjoy. Whatever. When I got out of it a couple months back, it was getting stale, which didn't help. Like, it was the same thing over and over again. Like doing the reviews, and that over time gets stale. It's fun because it's quick. They're quick videos to make, and I enjoy doing the reviews. But when you're doing that as the main content, like the meat on the plate, it got really stale. And I think that's what kind of drove me away from it, with other circumstances as well. But I'm having a lot more fun now jumping on streams like this, communicating with the community a lot more now, and mixing it up on the channel, and just getting out there, taking videos of other tracks, and just whatever I want to shoot, whatever I think is going to be fun, I'm going to post moving forward. And yeah, that's what's making me enjoy the hobby and keep pushing forward. And Marty said it best. We just got to keep building the interest in the hobby, keep making it grow, get the young people involved. That's what it's all about. Like, that's my mission when I started, was to bring awareness to the hobby, because I found there was no advertising for it. You talk to someone about slot cars, they don't know what's going on in the slot car world, what's out there. That yes, there's digital, there's analog, there's options now. It's not just, you know, the small little sets that we had growing up. You bring people over, they're amazed at what these cars can do now, what the tracks can do, what the systems can do, and all that. So my whole thing is just keep on trucking along, making content, bring as much awareness as I can to the hobby. And yeah, just not caring what other people think about my content, and doing what I want to do, kind of thing.
Nice. George, where do you go from here?
I go from here. Well, after tonight, I think what it is my advice to everybody is, when you have somebody when you have negative energy, you redirect negative energy. You don't want to feed into it. There's a lot of times. So I'm one of the moderators on HRW on Facebook and on the forum. There are some things that, you know, I will put a squash on some things if people say negative comments or start like bickering on, you know, something, you know, to negative stuff, start slinging names. That's when it gets shut off, because that's what you want to do. You want to eliminate negativity and people being, you know, too sarcastic or not in a joking way or being offensive. You know, that's what you have to really look at. That's why I tell you, when you get comments, you know, everybody knows on your videos, if they're negative, delete them. It doesn't do any good. I had one on the tire thing, and some guy says, well, then all your tires get hard as rocks. It's like that. how am I going to respond to that? It's just a stupid comment. So I just delete it. I mean, there's no need for that. Whoever said you were irrelevant is probably the most irrelevant person on the planet, because you know what? They're not getting the guts to get in front of the camera and talk to it and do stuff. And that's what goes back to what I said. I'm going to continue to do things the way I want to do it, and I could give to, you know, what anyone else thinks, you know, whether they're a pro or not a pro or whatever. I don't care. That's a simple fact. I do not care. I'm going to continue to do what I do, and I think everybody should continue to do what they do. You should keep doing your cataloging of all your cars, because I've looked at the website. That's great to have that. It's a great resource. It's a resource information. Whether somebody thinks it's not, you know, it's a waste of time, it's not a waste of time. It's information. The more you have information on the internet about things, that's what really makes people to sway their decision on what they want to do. And that's a great database to have. And all I can say is I'm glad you didn't quit. And I think you shouldn't have let one person or persons move you in a way that would push you into that direction. I think that's, you know, something you should never have people decide for you. I mean, everybody here does great work. Like I've said before, you do great work. A lot of people don't see it, but I do. You know, if they don't see it, you see all the stuff you do with the web stuff. I can't do any of that stuff. The graphics. Look at the two emblems I have on my page. That's Raul right there. Those two little emblem things. I can't do any of that stuff. So I mean, it's thanks to him that he does all those things, and he's, you know, free and giving of it to make the things and take the time to do it. That's a real asset to the whole community too. And then you guys doing your videos and doing what we can to show people what they want, you know, just putting out the content. That's the most important thing. That's what everybody comes back to the channel, because of the content.
Yeah, so I do want to, I'm not here. I don't spread negativity. And the person that said this to me is actually someone I hold in very high regard. So that's why it hit home so hard, right? And it wasn't even in a comment. It was actually personally said to me. So I respect that. I respect the person that comes to me directly and says it. So that's why it hit home so hard. It wasn't, and what he said wasn't said negatively. Like, it was negative, but it wasn't meant to be. It was something as a reality check. And I think that was the big point. For me, it was a reality check, right? He didn't say, oh, you know, you need to stop, or like, he didn't put in those words, but it was a reality check. Am I doing things correctly? Am I being relevant? Because that's the whole point. Like I told you, my biggest fear is being irrelevant, right? And it was good. I think it's good to have that reality check. I'm not upset about it. It gave me clarity and purpose to move forward, right? To make this global racing league is a part of my initiative to pull this hobby together. My goals for me moving forward. I don't think I'm gonna become a great tuner. I'm never gonna be a racer like Massimo is. He's really good. Anyway, let me just finish this, George, and then you can say. I'm just going to finish this. I don't expect to be. I'm not a world champion. I don't want to become a world champion. What I want to do is narrow the gap between the hobbies that I love and spread this hobby more. The wargaming community is very big. The RC community is very big. But they didn't get big just out of fluke. They did it because they standardized things. They made it easier for entry. They made it easier to progress. They do escalation leagues. They do a lot of things where people can participate on a lot of levels without being feeling a bit insecure. And that's where I want to come in and spread that kind of knowledge. My cataloging, my website, it's all based on that. If I don't do my website, we can't have a global racing league. Because how do I keep track of stats? How do I keep track of what everyone is doing? That's why I built my website. Everything I do is done with purpose. The world of slots, that map, I built it because people asked for it, right? But I also built it to test my skill set for some other project. And I think that's where like I said to you, everything I do is done with a certain goal in mind. I'm a very goal-oriented person. So I think differently. I don't expect, like I said to you, I didn't start this journey in hobbies because slot car was the only thing I wanted to do. It's one of my many hobbies. MP's been to my basement. My basement's full of hobbies. It's hobbies galore, right? But I've fallen in love with the community that is the slot car community. So my goal is to grow this community. And YouTube is the best, to me, is the best way to grow this community. I want more people to get involved. Now, somebody said, I'm calling for, what does he call me? He says, I'm going to dilute the hobby by asking more people to join YouTube. Because there's too much content and not enough time to go through all the content. And I understand that. It is tough. The more people that go on YouTube, the more content there will be. But no, you don't necessarily, you need different points of view. You need different characters. We need, Danny just started his kind of Dig Slot Car Garage. And I love his channel because it's a laid back way of, his delivery of content is so laid back and so welcoming. And I love that. But it might not appeal to everyone. But I love it. And we wouldn't get that if Danny didn't have the guts to start his YouTube journey. And if I called that to action and he came because of that, all power to it. And that's what I want. I want to grow this hobby by getting more people involved, more people creating content, more people sharing their journeys, their missions, their history, right? And that's my mission. And that's my future. And that's what I want moving forward. And everything I will do is built for that. Slot Vengers, great initiative. Didn't come up with the name, but became because of all of you. You put your trust in me to build your brands. I did it because I love to do that. It comes naturally. But it's what drives me forward. Everything that I'm doing. And that's what I want to do moving forward. So, anyway, I saw a lot of comments in the chat that are supportive of what we're trying to do here, and I thank everyone here for that. Yeah. So George, anyway, you wanted to say something about my tuning?
Stop doing that. Stop saying that. I'm not a good tuner. You cannot put. Have you ever seen Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talked about do not listen to the naysayers?
Yeah.
There's a video where he says, when I started acting, he says, don't listen to the naysayers. They said they never get me in movies and because his name was too long, blah, blah, blah. You need to quit telling that to yourself, bro. We all start somewhere. So if you have already tuned your shadow and it runs good, you are good at tuning. If you tuned it and it runs like crap, still, well, maybe a little bit more work, but you shouldn't be saying that. That's the thing that's really bugging me about, I'm being honest with you. You need to quit saying, I'm not a good this. I don't think I'll do it. You can't do that.
Well, George,
fine. You just need
I'm doubling down on that because I'm actually releasing my next few videos. I'm stopping this new car trend of mine. Because one thing that somebody pointed out to me is that I actually built this in my website, but I haven't really capitalized on it. You can go into every car that I put on my website, and there's ways where I can actually add things to the car and see the track times come down. And I've never really expanded on that. So over the next 6 months, I've dedicated myself to taking one car all the way. Whether it's the Shadow versus the M8 versus the two other cars, we're going to take it all the way for those 4 cars. We're going to put them head to head over the next couple of months. We're going to tune them all the way up. I'm going to listen to everyone. I'm going to take advice. we're going to test and test and test, because that's what I am. I'm an engineer and data is my thing. So getting back to that, I'm going to learn to become a really good tuner, George.
Remember, I always tell everybody this, and you guys have heard this, me say this a lot. You tune your cars for the condition of your track. So if you were to take my car to your track, it'll probably run like crap because your track's completely different. A lot of guys don't understand that. It doesn't mean you take one of your cars and you could go every track on the planet and it'll run fantastic. That's not true, because every track is different. One may have a hump in it, it goes up, or a different curve. You have to tune the car to the condition of the track. I always say that because to me that's most important, because they're not all the same. Not all the tracks are the same. So by you have a big advantage, because you could go to MP's track when he's done, and you could compare how your car runs on both types of tracks, because they're different layouts. That's a good advantage. But I'm glad I'm hearing that you are going to be a good tuner, because you already are a good tuner, because you tune your shadow and it runs great. So I don't see a problem there. But you just keep gaining experience is what it is. I'm not fully experienced. You learn something every day. Somebody will have a better mousetrap. Somebody will suggest something. That's why I love when people make suggestions, or they look at my stuff and they tell me, hey, I actually made this work better. You know what? Fantastic. That means I've done my job. You've done something better than me. That's what I want. I don't want to be better than others. I like to see others gain from my content and do even better. That's the reward.
100%.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's good, George.
Yeah.
George, you are one of the people that I respect a lot, and I, by the way, I renamed our chat to the Cornerstone, and the four of you, you are the cornerstones to my future, right? Because I don't think I would be here today, right now, actually, from last week to this week, if it wasn't for the three of you. So thank you very much.
Well, I can tell you also is that whoever you heard this from, whoever it was, I suggest just steer clear of that person, because you don't need that. That's that's not really a friend. That's like me bashing you, or bashing you behind your back, and then somebody finding out. That's not. I don't like doing that. I never have done that to the people. I defend the people more than I defend myself. So if I hear a bad mouthing of Harry or you guys, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think so, not here, because I won't listen to that shit. Because I don't make me mad right there. That's what makes me mad. When people talk bad about the people that I know that are in good character, and that I know personally that they're not that way. I don't know what you're talking about, and you shouldn't be talking about them that day. But if somebody talks crap about me, I don't just simply give a shit. Sorry, I don't care. Period. You go ahead and talk all the crap you want. I don't care. When you talk about my friends, that's what really bugs me. That bugs me the most.
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to reiterate, this person never talked about me behind my back. It was brought straight to my attention. It was dealt with in a very professional manner, I think. It's just the way it hit home. It was just different. Yeah. And that's the only difference. And you know what? It's okay. Like I said, it's a point of view. And I think the only way you get wiser is by listening to everyone's point of view and then picking a path and a course. I have a mentor. In my professional work, I have a mentor, and we discuss everything, because I found that without my mentor, I couldn't really progress or become better, right? I did great things, but I couldn't get to that next level, because you need someone to be ahead of you sometimes, that has seen pitfalls or sees different points of view. I think that's the biggest part for me as I grow a little bit older. It's like I love listening to other people's points of view. So whatever was said isn't negative. I'm not angry with that person at all. I have no anger in me for anyone. But I do respect his point of view. And so that was what was really got me going, was his point of view was relevant. It was not irrelevant. I'm not saying that what he said was not true. Maybe it's true to him. But I have to be true to myself and say, is it real? is he understanding my point of view? I don't think so. And that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
His point of view is well received. I just accepted everyone else's point of view and chose a path. And that's the difference. I think, yeah. Was that deep? I don't know. The silence.
You know, it's okay though. I mean, I think that, we're all human, and you know, we all sometimes get feedback that maybe is tough to hear, and we have to reflect on it and make decisions about how much we want to take to heart. And you did the right thing by like throwing it out to people you trust to give you honest feedback. And I think that just shows growth, Raul, in you. I mean, I go back to our very first conversation on Facebook when you sent me a message, and we started this friendship. And you know, I go back to what you said earlier, like this community means a great deal to me. You can take the slot cars away, you could take lots of things away from me, but if you took this community away from me, it would be pretty painful. I mean, I have a lot of conversations that happen every day with a lot of people that I've met through this hobby, and they're important relationships to me, and I will continue those conversations whether I had slot cars or not. And I think that that's what we're seeing. And so it's okay that people had a chance to see some honesty and just kind of your heart in this during this live stream. It's good stuff, man. It just allows us to connect with even deeper, take relationships. I don't like shallow relationships, and I'm a person, I know a ton of people, just like in my own community, and I always worry that I'm creating a bunch of shallow relationships and it's my fault. But I don't believe that here. Every time we talk, these relationships are going deeper and deeper and deeper, and we're just growing those roots, and that's important. And that's why the community will continue to grow and prosper, and that's what's exciting about it.
And you guys really are I'd say, only friends I have, because I don't go out. I don't really. There's very few people I know out here. I have my family; those are the ones that are really part of my circle. But as friends, I think I have more friends through this than I do in the real world. I have one friend in California that I left that I still contact with. Very few, but you guys are the only ones I interact with. So I consider you very good friends, because we all have a common interest and we all talk with each other weekly, and we all are texting daily, so we know what's going on in our lives, you know. And that's what's really nice. It's the journey of the hobby, besides the hobby itself, of with people, is what I think of it as, you know, the journey of talking and interacting with people. And that's why I try and tell everybody here on the chat, and I'm talking to everybody here on the chat, we need you guys to come on. You need to not be scared. And if you don't want to show your face, fine, come on audio. But we need more content from the hobby guys. I'm not saying this as to be rude or nothing, but we don't need people that are professionals, to be honest. This is a hobby that should
100%.
Yeah, exactly. We want guys like the Fingers, you know, the guys that see us all the time, you know. Clint, I'm seeing them all right here. Grandson of Ban, Eric Wildman, the Slot Car Dojo. You guys need to honestly step up and come on audio or video and have a conversation with us, because that's one of the reasons why we want you guys involved, because we want the guys that actually do the stuff, that actually are into it. You guys may have ideas we don't know about, you could share. So that'd be kind of cool to bring you on. So that's why when we ask you, hey, can you come on? We really want you to come on, because we want to interact with you besides on this little chat window here.
And yeah, exactly. So the reason why I think people need to come on is because I love to hear other people's stories on how they got here. And, you know, that's really what captivates me. I understand how I got here, but was listening how MP got here. And remember this, when we put the commercial track down, by the way, MP was huge that day, came out, helped me. it's great to have that kind of like support. But we're sitting there, and I said to him, it's so surreal. This moment is surreal because 6 months ago it was a dream to meet him. But yet today we're sitting there like we were best friends. We've known each other for a long time. And that's how I feel. Even the first day, I think when he walked into my house, it was very like, it was different. It was like I'd known him for such a long time because we had met each other on YouTube in a weird way, right? And we can only do that if you communicate with us. So that's what we're inviting you to do. We want to build these relationships. Danny has become big, like he jumped on our live stream the other night. That's what we want. Shotgun Dave, Boone, there was a time when I thought Boone was untouchable. Couldn't touch it, couldn't reach him. And now we chat like ever so often. It's a great experience. And that only happens if we get out and we talk to each other and share our histories, right? So definitely, I think it's important that we and YouTube allows us to do this in a very easy way. Let's be honest. This is the age of digital. Whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. This digital platform, this way of communication, it is the future, and it is growing. And so embrace it. Come on. There's nothing right. There's nothing wrong. Nobody has any reason to judge anyone when we come on. We're just here to tell a story and express ourselves. That's it, right?
One thing I want to touch on, that's something I know I've forgotten, and you just went through something like this. For anyone thinking about starting their own channel, don't get discouraged with any negativity.
Yep.
You're gonna make a video and 1,000 people will like it. There'll always be one person that won't like what you did, because everyone has a different perspective on everything. Just like some people see my channel differently than you would see it, or whoever's channel it is or content you make. So you can't please everyone, and that's something that I think we all have to keep in mind and not take it to heart. I mean, negative comments are good in a way because it helps you, okay, you know what, maybe they're right, I can change this and be better. But then there's also the other negative comments, which are just dumb for the most part, and they're just hurtful more than anything. And you can't let those get to you, because you can't please everyone. That's just life, unfortunately, as much as we would like to. And I think that's something that everyone has to keep in mind, including ourselves, because I forget that sometimes. And we just got to be positive and keep doing what we're doing, or keep doing what you want to do, and whatever makes you happy. And don't be afraid. You can't be afraid. Just get out there, get on camera, or not even on camera, just voice, hands, whatever it is, and just do you. And don't let anyone discourage you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and jump on. Do YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. All you need is a camera. Phones will do. MP's a master at the phone. So if you want phone help, call MP. And then if you need camera help, you can call George. Don't call me. George has become the master of all the angles. So you know what? That's awesome. And if you want audio, who's the best audio over here except for Marty? Come on, Marty. The sultry voice of Marty. He sets the mood, the tone.
He's done band. He's in the band, so he knows all that stuff. That sounds all important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's important to sound good. That's why I live with the mic in front of me, because I know that's how I get my best audio, and that's the piece that's important to me. Because I can't fix this. I'm stuck with this.
Don't worry. You're the voice, Marty. You're the voice of you're the future of our voice. This guy said, Marty's got the best voice so far in the business so far. Yeah.
I don't believe that. Too funny.
Yeah. The finger says it best here. Yeah, and well, you know, the community is great. Like you know, like I said last week, the fingers is everywhere, and you know what? He's so positive.
That's what
He's
I
never
want.
had a negative thing to say to anyone. That's
Oh,
why I
Such an
love him.
encouragement.
He's always positive. He's
That's
never.
right.
He's there everywhere, and you know, we need more people of that, right?
He's the first one in every stream.
he is. He pops on. I'm fine. Like, damn.
I love it.
He's like scout for everything all the time.
Yeah, Boone says, warning for YouTube, be careful for your music. Copyright claims are a bitch. Got hit with 7 this week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so subscribe. Like all the music you're listening to on my channel is subscribed and paid for. It is from Epidemic Sound. So if you want get free music for your channel, or not free, if you want to get unique music for your channel, I never use YouTube's music because they always change copyright claims. But I use Epidemic Sound. I use Motion Array. I use Story Blocks. And yeah, that's where I get all my music from.
I got a funny story from you, Boone. You mentioned that copyright thing. So this is from Harry. So Harry was doing a live thing because he was telling me, you know, I'm going to try one of those lives. They seem like, and he's done a few of them where you're just into it, just throw a car on, talk about it. Well, it was during Christmas, and he had Christmas music playing in the background. And a Whitney Houston song came on. And I don't know which Christmas one she sang. And he got hit with that. And he's like, it's Whitney Houston. She's dead. You know, like, how am I getting hit? And he was kind of like, I don't understand what you're telling me. And so he had to, like, get it, like, removed. It was from the live. So when I do the live, I kind of, like, turn the music off because I remember that. Because you never know, because some song may play that maybe copyrighted that's just in the background is enough to get you in trouble with YouTube.
That's right.
So he told me that. I was just like, he goes, I was like, I had to kind of like adjust everything just so, you know, I could keep the live on there. But that's just a funny story that he told me.
So if you're live streaming, Epidemic Sound's the best because they don't have a jingle that says this is Epidemic Sound, or they just let the music play, and you can create your own playlist and just press play, and it will just play. So that's what I use from all my live streams. So all the tunes that you listen to on my live streams from Epidemic Sound. And then for my actual videos, I use Story Blocks and Motion Array. Motion Array is right now my current favorite audio source. So yeah, just letting you guys know. Like I said, any questions, if you want to get involved in YouTube, you know, just reach out to me. No problems. I'll help anyone. Yeah. So
Cool. Well, you've helped us. Trust me, you've helped me a lot.
Yeah.
With the cameras, and the logos, and everything, Raul.
It's been
thing.
fantastic.
like I said, whatever I can do to pull this hobby community together, I'll get it done. I kind of proved that, I think, already, but I'm all for it. I'm all for making us better as a whole, not as an individual. I think the time for individuals is over and done with. We gotta be more united. The more we unite, the bigger we'll get. So, Sean Casey, always the scholar. Help roll. What do you need, Eric? Just let me know. I don't know if he's letting me help me or he wants me to help him. So if I need help, let me know what I need help with, and I'll definitely try and get it. I need a logo. Yves, no problem. Just reach out to me. I like building logos. It's easy for me.
You've done all of ours.
That's right.
Well, that's the whole thing about Slot Vengers. If you want to join Slot Vengers, I have to have the logo has to be designed by me because I feel uncomfortable using a logo that's not designed by me to be part of Slot Vengers. So I don't put it in the Slot Vengers because it's that thing that, does it really belong to us or not? At least with Slot Vengers, everyone that's on there, I know that I'm the designer, so it's all cool.
That's right.
I never want to get tripped up on that. I've been in I was a designer for Alliance Atlantis for many, many years, right? And I understand intellectual property rights a lot. So, especially when it comes to graphic design and creative property. So that's why with Slot Vengers, people, I have got a lot of requests about joining Slot Vengers. And then I always say to them, it's not my decision, it's a group decision, number one. Number two, you know, do you really need Slot Vengers, or can you establish your own brand? Because I will help you establish your own brand if you have a good brand profile, and you can build your own brand. You know, like Boone has a really good brand and he's established his own brand. So I won't like bring him into Slot Vengers because he's got his brand. You know what I mean? But anyone who needs help with the brand, you're welcome to come to me. I will do it. I don't charge anything for it because I just love to do it for all of you. So that's cool.
And Grant's of the man, his car. Who is the youngest slot car YouTuber? What are you trying to say, dude?
Who's the oldest or the youngest? Because he says who's the oldest, and then he says who's the youngest.
Should we confess our age?
I don't know who would be the youngest
I say Moss is the youngest. How old are you,
of this
Moss?
group. Yeah,
Maybe in this room, maybe, but overall, I don't
It'd be,
Who's got-
it'd be between me and Marty. I don't know. I think I would be the oldest. I don't know, but I could be wrong.
I think we're close, George.
Are we? I was born in '68.
Oh, okay, you got me. I'm 7. I'm 7. I was born in 70.
Okay, so now
Late
everybody
70.
knows. Grandson, man.
Yeah, I'm 52.
55 next month. So,
Oh, here come all the ages.
Here come all the ages.
No.
81.
Gladstone.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
See you guys need to come up
Awesome.
with all this. 44, 56, 1952.
Does it say Danny?
Put the year out, huh?
Danny's 36.
The oldest.
57.
59, 59. Tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dan.
Happy
Boone,
birthday.
tomorrow. Here you go, 1950. I like how they put the years. 1955.
Yeah.
Boone, and you're still crawling around on your table.
The fingers. That's funny.
1966.
Yeah, Boone. I was on the phone with him the other day, and he was full with his do-rag, and I was on the table painting his ginormous mountain that is the tunnel, and yeah, you know what? It's amazing though. It's amazing. Boone's done a great job on that thing, and he used a special technique. It's amazing. It's amazing the dedication people have to their slot car tracks, whether it's one without terrain or whether it's with terrain. It's so unique. Like, I love it. It's like yesterday we were racing at Double Cobra, and one thing I showed it to a friend of mine is like, that track looks so amazing. I just want to race on it, right? He's like, I want to drive a car on it and feel it. And that reminds me, next time I go out there, Mass, I'm going to take my camera car. It'll be awesome to run.
That would be cool. That would be so cool.
Yeah. I'll run the camera car on that.
The extremes of the hobby. So when I was in the car club with the GTO, I had gotten some headers for my car, and we were putting the headers on the next day. So Manteca, California, is like in the valley. So overnight, I was sleeping at his house, and I woke up and I realized, I have the wrong headers. So I go to him when the car was apart, and I go to my friend Ray. Hey, we have the wrong headers. He goes, well, Summit's in Reno. We drove to Reno. Picked the correct headers, came back. That's how crazy, my particular friend was with that hobby. He's like, dude, we'll go pick him up, man.
So George's story about my Hellcat. So when I bought my Hellcat, it was the first Hellcat to roll off the line here, and I bought the long tube headers, and I got the pulley. Like, I was the first one to do the mod. There was only one other car that was modded in the United States, and I think it was done by Overdrive. So I contacted Overdrive, and we got everything that they did to their car and brought it over. So we put it all in the car, and we said we need to tune this thing, and nobody had the tuning maps for the Hellcat. So I drove overnight to Pittsburgh, right, from Toronto drove to Pittsburgh, didn't sleep, drove to Pittsburgh. We dynoed the whole day, got the car tuned, and drove back.
That's the car world right there. What he described. That
Yeah.
crazy crap. That's the stuff we did. I had a lot of stories on GTO. That's why I've kept it.
Yeah.
I picked off it, but there are too many stories, and we did so many modifications. I think between me and my friend Ray, because we were kind of like the wrenches of the group, we've done like over a dozen camshaft swaps because they weren't hard. And in the guys that came, we were trying to help them out. This is how helpful I was. I'd go drive to different parts of California and help put a cam on a mod day. We'd have a barbecue, and that would be the mod day, which was put a cam in, struts or whatnot, a drive shaft, all this.
Yeah.
They did. That's basically it right there. And then you have a dyno day and barbecue at the dyno day with the club. I remember those days. That's very, very, very true with the car world,
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, that's what it was. If you had to get your car ready for a show, didn't matter what it took. You're gonna get it ready for the show.
Early morning, get up. You'd have like a detail day. We used to do those.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about detailing from my friend.
Having to put headlights in the oven so you can melt the glue around them to open them up to put in LED rings. I've done it all. We've done it all. We've been there, done that. So dedication to a hobby is pretty intense, right?
And that hobby is expensive. The slot stuff is compared to an actual hobby. And the garage is probably about $50,000 worth of stuff that's in the car right now, and it's not even worth 20. Because it's some sort of clunker to Blue Book. You couldn't get anything for it.
So I have a funny story. Sorry, George, but I have a funny story. Somebody, you know why I have the 1,000 slot cars in my head? As nobody's ever asked me this question, because I always say I'm going to 1,000, right? But why do I need 1,000 cars? So I'll tell you why and who put that in my head. So I started getting into the hobby and I started collecting cars because that was the easiest thing for me to do, buy cars, right? And if you want to do nice photography and videography and have it change up every week, what do you need? New cars. So I started buying cars, and then I was running out of Carrera cars, and then I went to see Ernie, and I was like, I went to buy a couple of cars at Ernie's place, and then Ernie's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to collect cars I want to become a car collector in slot cars. He's like, so how many cars do you have? I'm like, at that time I was like, I think I have about 100. He's like, to become a real collector, you have to have 1,000.
Of course.
Yeah, this is a guy who owns a store that sells them.
Yeah, the pusher.
So that's why I have 1,000 in my head, because Ernie said to me, in order to become a serious collector, you have to have 1,000 cars, at least, minimum. I was like, okay.
I think John got the right idea. Don't count them.
Oh, John Albright. Excellent job on that video of the shadow. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Great stuff, man.
I shared that. That was really good. If any of you haven't seen it on Facebook, John did a little video of the shadow, and it's really cool, and it's funny. And you did the voice, didn't you, John? I know you did. That sounds like your voice.
Yeah, so that's why I'm journeying to 1,000, my friends. 1,000 cars.
I think I don't even have that much. Maybe, I don't really count, maybe 250, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he didn't give me a time frame, so at least I have that. I can slow down a bit now. Although it's hard to slow down with all the new cars coming out. I mean,
there's so many great new cars coming. Gosh.
Painful. I was like, just finished buying all these shadows. I did buy quite a few, so excessive, compulsive.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Opal.
Yeah. So, and then you're like, you see the Opal, and then I haven't got my Ferrari Momos yet, and then I was like, it's like every second day there's some new car that comes out. I was on Electric Dreams because I was looking for the McLaren M8D, and they're the only ones that had it in stock. So obviously I picked it up, and then I was like looking at the cars in there, and I must have put like 10 cars in the shopping cart, and then I was like, "Roll, be serious here, right?" And then I was telling Massimo this weekend. So I have this commercial track at a RC shop, right? So I go there, and this weekend they had drifting on Friday nights, right? So all these drifters came. There were about 15, 20 of them there. And they all looked at the slot cars. You could hear them talking about the slot cars, but none of them pulled. None of them came over to the track. They watched me race a bit. They were interested. A couple of them came over. A couple of them jammed the throttle a little bit and then walked away because they couldn't keep the car on track. They were interested in the dynamics of it. So I'm like, what can I do to get these guys involved? And then I was like, well, it's like anything else. If you're not involved in their community, why should they get involved in yours, right? So I'm like, that's it. Next day, I went to the RC shop. I'm like, build me a 110 scale drift car, build me a 110 scale touring car, build me a crawler. I'm getting into this community.
Oh my
and
gosh.
So he's there and he's piling the boxes up on the counter, right? And who's standing right next to me? One of the guys from the slot car track, from the slot car track the day before. He's like, are you jumping in? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to buy slot cars tomorrow. It's like, I was waiting to see if you're going to jump in. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like community. It's community. If you don't speak their language and you're not involved, it's very hard to get them involved in yours. So, the sacrifices we have to make, always it. But Yves knows. Yves is in the chat. He's actually a part of the RC track that we put the commercial track down. But Yves left me and went to Turks and Caicos for the weekend or the week or something. So hopefully when he comes back, we push more people. But I think slot car, we were talking about it. I think the slot car thing is more of a winter thing. Because right now, all the RC guys are going outdoors. So I'll use the summer to drive RCs and get to know them a bit so that we can start running.
And they'll gravitate to what you do, and then you could do it too. Because they will get hooked in. I mean, who doesn't get hooked in on a slot car?
Yeah. Danny, you have a crawler for scale? Well, they run a certain... Is it the Tamiya crawler? They run only Tamiya. So... Oh, at least that's what I've been told. Oh, Yves is in Antigua. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I think this was a good confessional.
Great.
So anyway, there's a couple of giveaways that we need to point out. Massimo, you have a giveaway going on this week on your channel. It's for the Shadow. So anyone who didn't get a Shadow, Massimo is giving away one because he's just that kind of guy.
You're a good dude, man.
MP Slot Car Space.
Giving away a Shadow.
Giving away a Shadow.
Yeah, man, those things must be sold out by now. It's the same thing flying off the shelves. Everybody's been posting pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures of a lot of them.
So MP's got a giveaway, and I think your draw is happening this Saturday.
I'm gonna do it on Saturday at noon Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone wants a Shadow and wants to jump in, please do that. Visit MP Slot Car Space, or MP Slot Car, sorry. And I keep on saying space because that's what you started with. But yeah.
Name.
Yeah. So go over to MP's channel and sign up. It's very easy. Just put the word Shadow in one of your comments. Make it creative because MP likes creative comments. And go get your Shadow. And then on Monday, we have my giveaway, which is the lowly Di Tommaso. Sorry, guys. But I continue to give away Carrera cars. So, but if you want, we have the Di Tommaso that's going to go off on Monday. So next Monday on the live stream, we'll do this draw. And that's for 750 subscribers. And yeah, so we have 2 giveaways happening. Your choice, guys. Go get them. Anything on your end, Marty? Do you have your live stream tomorrow?
I'm not giving anything away.
No, you're giving away your sultry voice.
I need to change that. I tell you what, I am like, I had a big jump. My channel hadn't really grown much in the last couple weeks, and I had a big jump the last couple days. So maybe I should put it out there that if I hit 2,000, I'll give away a car.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's because The video you did where you did half of it.
That's right.
That was the hook.
And they
That
were
was the hook.
like, "Oh, we gotta subscribe so we can see the next one." There you go.
I had guys that were pissed with me. They were like, "How can you not share the top 5?" It was awesome.
From season,
So no, I just I have my live stream tomorrow night. Oh, that reminds me, I had a guest scheduled last week. They canceled, and Billy and Amanda jumped on, and I had lots of technical difficulties. I think I got those worked out, so hopefully the stream goes well tomorrow. But yeah, that's all I got going on.
Was it doing all the track planning stuff? That's what you had. It was the track planning. That was pretty good.
Hey Marty, they want the party pass to your basement.
How about a party pass to Marty's basement? That's funny.
Oh, Marty, give away half.
I give away coffee. I do. You're right. You guys are right. I give away coffee. I'll give away a bag of coffee tomorrow from Roast, my channel sponsor. I need a slot car sponsor though, man.
So Marty, you have your live stream tomorrow night. You're giving away some coffee tomorrow night. Lots of giveaways going on, guys. George did a great live stream this morning. If you haven't caught it,
was great.
It's about scratch building. George continues to do amazing stuff there. Inspires a lot of people. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. And I'm pretty sure George is the master of impromptu live streams. So if you're not subscribed to George's channel, you're going to miss out on all the impromptu live streams in the middle of the night at odd times. You will catch George, and you should go ahead and do that because they're pretty wild and they're lots of fun. So don't forget to do that. And what else is there? Oh yeah, if you'd like to support us, go to Conquest Lair, pick up a shirt. We get something for it. That's a shameless plug. Go ahead, have some fun. Shotgun Dave released his own shirts on Conquest Lair as well. Go support him. Yeah. So he released his own shirts. It's really cool. Boone has his shirt up as well on Conquest Lair. So if you like Boone, you support Boone, go get a shirt. Every time we sell anything from Conquest Lair,
throwing Raul a bunch of money.
Hey! I am supporting all the YouTubers.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to buy all this stuff, so I need to send you some.
Don't worry, care packages have been sent out everywhere. George, your package is on its way. Thank you for your order, and there's lots of extras in there. Have fun. Marty, your package is on the way. Have fun. Massimo received his package. And he has a lot. He promptly displayed it on a live stream with me. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you did that Thursday, and I was asleep. I was like, crap.
Dusty, I got you covered too. Just make sure Marty doesn't take it away.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You got this one sticker.
What package? I don't know about package.
I didn't see anything.
Where do we buy it? Just conquestlair.com. So Yves, go to conquestlair.com, and you can pick it up there. Boone's laughing. That's it. I have nothing else to add. My confession is complete. My Hail Marys will be done. Penance will be served. And I thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us tonight. It was awesome. And thanks for the download. I got 1 thumbs down, so boo to that person. 36 thumbs up. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll keep it real. Next week I do have a guest coming on. So he's coming from far, far away across the sea. So we'll look and have some excitement then. And I'll come up with some other cryptic topics. Or if you have a topic for the 4 of us to talk about. And by the way, MP is now a regular on our live streams. So we enjoy that. We like it.
That's right.
So thank you for coming on board, being part of this.
Thanks for having me. It means a lot.
Yeah, man. So if you guys have topics for us, just shoot them out to us. It helps us out. Otherwise, sometimes we scramble. Otherwise, I'm gonna come up with some cryptic topic, but we'll have fun with it. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight, guys. We're 2 hours in. We'll way be past our bedtimes. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care. And see Marty tomorrow. Don't forget.
Yep.
Finish.